Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. We are continuing with the Hellcat Redeye and its modifications. Now today is a very exciting video because we're finally going to start adding the engine parts. So that means the power modifications are starting as of this video and other videos after this. I know that this is something that a lot of you guys have been asking me. I've been getting so many questions. When are you going to add more power to the Hellcat? You no longer need to wait because it's happening. It's starting today. I'm very excited, but before we start with today's video, let me show you exactly what we'll be installing today. So starting off with an upper pulley. So this is a 285 upper pulley that I'll be installing on the Hellcat today. We also have some injectors. Now these are 1050 injectors, and as well as some spark plugs. Now these are a step or two cooler than the current ones. And then here we have some tools. Now these are all of the tools needed to remove the current pulley, and all of this I purchased from HHP. I've been working with them in regards to the build, in regards to getting all of these parts. So if any of you are interested in getting any parts, then I'll have the link to the website in the description down below. But now that we went over the parts, let's take a look at what we need to do here on the engine bay. Quite a few parts that need to be removed here from the engine bay, and all of this is first we're going to start off by installing the upper pulley. So first we need to take this one off. Now in order to do that, we need to raise the supercharger. So as you can imagine, there's plenty of things that need to come off because of that. There's some bolts under here that we really can't get to because of the snout. First, start off by removing this catch can. Now that should be super easy because it's just like 1 or 2 bolts down here. Then we need to remove this intake. Now there's also quite a bit of connectors just like here on that side, and we need to remove these 2 covers. We also need to remove the cowl back there. So that means I need to remove the windshield wipers. Why is that? Because there's some bolts there for the supercharger that I really can't get to unless I remove the cowl. So this is going to be a lot of fun. As I make my way through this and remove the parts, I'll just come back and I'll just explain to you guys what I did. And then, well, let's just see how this goes. I have this new accessory that I'll be using today. Now this is called the grip mat. So I have 3 sizes. I have this large one, this medium size, and I have the smaller size. So I'll be using this right now as I'm working on the engine bay, just to place all of my tools, any bolts, any nuts. So usually what I've been using are these magnetic trays or these magnetic bowls. Now I really do like these. These work really well, but there are a few things I don't like about them. The first thing is that the footprint is a little bit too small. So depending on the job that you're doing, you can organize it depending on, again, on how many bolts or how many tools. But what I like about this is that it actually gives you a bigger size and you can organize it a lot better. I know sometimes I end up getting messy here and I just get everything all together. The second thing is that I know I can't be the only one, but sometimes I end up putting a wrench here. Then when I take it out, I end up flipping the tray, and I honestly, that has to be the most annoying feeling in the world. I'm like, no, what have I done? So with this, I won't encounter that issue. They have many different places here in the pictures where you can use it. So very excited to try these. If any of you are interested in these grip mats, whichever size, I'll have all of the information along with the website down in the description below. I also have a discount code for 10% off, and it's Woman.Driven 10. So I'll have it here up on the screen as well as down in my description down below along with all the information. But with that being said, let's get back to this. A few things have been removed already. I removed the catch can, which was pretty easy, the covers as well. Now in regards to the back, so I originally thought that I was only supposed to remove the cowl, but looking on videos online and reading online from others that have done this, so I did have to loosen this. I mean, you can take it out, you can loosen it. This is exactly what I did, simply because one reason. So there's a bolt here in the back of the supercharger that we need to get to, and this was simply in the way. I know that that bolt is pretty long in length, so there was no way for me to be able to take it out unless this has been loosened, just so I can have the room for that to come off. So now that that's taken care of, it's time to move on to the next thing, which is removing the intake as well as any sensor that's connected to the supercharger. So I know there's quite a few, and since I'm also doing injectors, I mean, I might as well disconnect the injectors here and take care of that. I also wanted to show you how the grip mats look. So I'm using two right now. I'm using this medium size and I'm using the large size. So far, I really like it just because I have a lot more room and I can organize it better. So I have my larger tools here, and then I just have some clips, some nuts, some bolts here, and I'm just going to be filling it in as I go. And I like how I can see and just pretty much just keep it a little bit more organized than usual. So let's keep going. All right, so we're making some progress here. So I removed the intake elbow. It did have this vacuum hose here attached to it, so I had to remove that first, and then the intake elbow. And then I disconnected all of the sensors from the supercharger. So I believe all of them should be disconnected, at least all from the ones I've seen and from what I can remember. So after that, the serpentine belt did need to come off. So I did have Chris help me with that, just because I myself couldn't apply enough pressure, enough strength to release the tension and use the other hand to remove the belt. So he did help me with that. And then I was able to remove the supercharger belt, although I did struggle a little bit with that one. And then the supercharger belt ended up getting stuck down there, but I managed. So now that that's off, it's time to now remove these bolts here from the supercharger. So I'm gonna remove all of these bolts, and then we can remove the supercharger cover. So I know that some of you were asking in my previous video, what was that tool that you were using with the wrench when I was removing the rear brakes on the Hellcat? And it's this one right here. So this is called the Knuckle Buddy. I've used this for quite some time now, and honestly, I really do like it. It's come in really handy. So this is pretty much the tool that you'll use. Instead of stacking wrenches, you're going to use this. This just provides better stability. It's not going to slip on you like when you use the two wrenches, because I know that I can't be the only person that that's happened to. So like you saw, I just used it right now. You can use it with wrenches, you can use it with Allen keys. So again, it's called the Knuckle Buddy in case you guys are interested. Now, I just wanted to show you that if you look in some areas there, it does have a little bit of oil residue. Now, this is understandable just because I did take this car to the track, and I also took it to 2 half-mile events before I installed the Mighty Mouse catch can. So understandably, that's why it has those areas with some oil residue, but I will be cleaning it. But I have to say that overall, I am happy with how that is now. And coming here, we see that the supercharger is already raised. So there's 2 blocks holding it. There's one on this side, and then there's another one there. Clearly, I did need help raising this supercharger because this one is actually heavier than the ZL1. So now that it's raised, you guys are probably wondering, so why did he go through all this trouble to remove all of these parts and raise it? Well, let me show you right now, because we need to remove this now, but there's some bolts underneath here that we cannot get to if it wasn't for us removing all of those parts and raising it up. So I'm not sure if you can see these bolts. You could probably see one, but there's 3 down there that we need to remove in order to remove this snout. And there's also 3 bolts here. So there's 1, 2, 3. I need to remove this piece. If not, this bolt won't be able to come off. So once we remove those bolts, we can remove this snout and then we can work on installing that pulley. So we are almost there. So let's keep going. So this took a lot longer than I thought it would be. This was very eventful. I didn't think it was going to be, I guess, this challenging or this much of a struggle, but let me just show you what was done. So we have the pulley bolt on here and it's torqued. Now this is the pulley, but I won't add this now. I'll talk about this more in a bit. But I actually struggled with this just because, man, this would not come off. So this is the original pulley and now it's off and it just wouldn't budge. So from the videos that I was watching, everybody was using an air impact and it would come off easily. For some reason, it just wasn't coming off for me. So we were here, someone was here at the end. So this is the Metco tool for the pulley. This is just, you can see it has a spacer and this is just to keep everything in place. So we had a 15mm socket here just to keep this bolt from moving. And then I was here on the other side. You can see this is, look at this. So this is where I had the air impact to try to remove the pulley. You can see this is just from being like an hour there with the impact, just trying and just wouldn't come off. Honestly, I don't know. Maybe it was just, it just had a lot of torque more, because the other videos that I've been watching are just Hellcats. They haven't been a Redeye, but it just wouldn't budge there for an hour and finally it managed to come off. Like I said, it was very eventful. It took a lot longer than I expected, but I'm glad it's off now. So we have the pulley bolt here and we have the pulley here. So now the only thing that's left is to now put this snout back on the car and then put everything sort of back. The supercharger is now dropped and it's back on the car. I'll have the snout here as well. Now I have all the 6 bolts. Now they're tightened and also torqued. So these are 26 foot-pounds. So the only thing that we need to do now is add the cover. So as you can see here, I have my supercharger bolts as well as the cover bolts very neatly and organized on the grip mat. So I really like that. So now I need to add these back on. I will include here on the screen the bolt tightening sequence as well as the torque specs for these. So I need to take care of that. Once I'm done with that, then I'll come back just to talk a little bit more about the pulley. And just like that, we're done. So I didn't put the pulley on it just because I wanted to show you how easy it is to put this on. So let's see if I can put this on with one hand as I'm holding the camera. So this is very easy. So we can see it goes on just like that. And then I just need to put on the 6 hex bolts and that's pretty much it. So in the future, once I'm ready to upgrade for more power, I'm already ready, guys. So I have my 265 pulley here. So this is a smaller pulley and this is going to be very easy, which I love. I don't have to go through all this again. So all I would have to do is obviously I need to remove the belt and remove the 6 bolts, and then I can just remove the pulley. Let's see if I can do this with one hand. I can just remove the pulley like that and then install a smaller pulley. So so easy. So glad I don't have to go through all of this. That's just time consuming. So I install a new pulley, I put the new tune on, and that's it. I'm ready to go. It's easy just like that. And just like that, we're done. I know that I didn't put everything back just because I have a few more things to install, but that'll be for the next video. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.